Hi there, and welcome to this bonus episode of the Gazette's Hockey Inside Out Show. I'm Stu Cowan of the Gazette, and I'm joined by former Canadiens teammates and 1986 Stanley Cup champions, Chris Nilan and Rick Green. Rick, you almost hate to even mention the word injuries when it comes to the Canadiens with the problems they've had in previous seasons. Knock on wood, nothing happens to any key players leading up to the playoffs. But who was a player the Canadiens in this lineup can least afford to lose?
Well, like you meant, I hope they don't lose anybody because, you know, the way they're going and the way they're clicking as a group is you don't want to disrupt that. But, you know, I look back at their goaltending situation, Montembeault, the number of games that he's been playing, and, you know, he's been tested quite a few times and has been able to, you know, withstand the battle out there. And I'd hate for something like that to happen, even though Dovish has shown that he's been able to do his thing on occasion. But, you know, I think there's a lot of confidence in Montembeault. You want to keep him well. Suzuki, a no-brainer. You know, he's solid. He doesn't miss games. But, you know, you take some of these key guys out of there and your team –
and he's asking for one. Come on. Don't give us in five. Give us one.
Montembeault. Montembeault. Yeah, Montembeault. I got to start. You know, you always start from the back out.
Thank you.
The goalie being important. You. Then the defensemen are the second most important.
Way to go. Way to go.
The has-beens.
All right, I'll settle this thing for good. Nick Suzuki. Here's the deal. Let's think. Nick Suzuki, Hudson, the goalie. Okay? Suzuki, you take him out, who's going to run the offense? Really? Especially on the power play, all that, for pivot man. What he's done since the formation. Hudson, if you lose him, yeah, he controls the game when he's out there, but still they have a stacked defense. So you can live with that if you had to.
Just pick one. Pick one. We just want one.
I already picked him, Suzuki. But if it was Hudson, you can live without him. If it's the goalie, well, you know what? You're going to have to tighten up defensively. So, you know, I just Nick Suzuki, no question about it. He's their leader. He's the guy who runs the offense. He makes things happen out there. Nick Suzuki, thank you.
You almost ain't even talking about this, but, you know, Marty St. Louis' philosophy, his motto recently has been, what's next? You know, don't worry about what's happened before. A guy goes down, another guy comes in, whatever. What do you think about that motto that he's had, Rick? It seems to work with this team.
Yeah, I mean, I just think back our days. There's guys that were, you know, they got hurt. Other guys that came in. It's a real special time of year where you love to be a part of it, and you do whatever you have to do to have success at it. So the good news with what's happening with the group right now, they got everybody on board. And whatever happens, if somebody has to come out, the others are going to jump in there and are going to follow suit and do what has given them success as of late. And that's a good situation to be in. They do have some depth, and they do have some guys that can fill the void if they, you know, run into some problems. And I just like the character and the desperation that's being shown by each and every one of those guys. They want to make the difference, and that's a good feeling to have.
You mentioned Suzuki there, Knuckles. How amazing is it that this guy has never missed a game since coming into the NHL, and with the style of the way he plays, he doesn't shy away from physical.
No, he doesn't, and it's a credit to him. Again, he's you know, he's that 200-foot player that we're hoping he'd be, and he certainly has become that. You know, he plays both ends of the rink. He hits, he gets hit, he sticks with it. He's an awesome player, and that next up attitude, that's a good thing to have. I mean, it's great. And when you think of it, a few years ago, right? Next up, guys got hurt in the past. You couldn't even go and get anybody from Laval. You know what I mean? It was like Jerry's kids down there. And now they have a team down there. And if you have to pluck a guy out of there and bring him up to fill a void, you can. They didn't have that luxury before. So that next man up thing, yeah, and it's unfortunate. Guys go down, and you got to be ready. You come in the lineup, you got to be ready to play the game they want you to play. So, unfortunate part of this game is injuries come, and you just hope you stay healthy come playoff time.
Marty said also the what's next thing applies to him as a coach. He says you're making a game plan, and all of a sudden you find out before the game this guy can't play.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next? I'm sure you can relate to that too, Rick, from your days coaching behind the bench.
Yeah, you have to consider that things do change, but again, one thing that doesn't change is the mindset of the guys that you do have in the lineup and the guys that really understand how to play and how the coaches expect them to play. And that's what's happening with the group. They understand, and they're doing what they have to do to make the difference.
One name we haven't mentioned, Knuckles, in this conversation about a guy they couldn't afford to lose is Cole Caulfield. This guy, when he came in, goal scorer, right? And Marty St. Louis said, I can't teach him how to score goals. He already knows how to do that, but I can teach him how to play away from the puck. The game against Detroit, he made a back check that saved a goal, busting his butt, and then he scored shortly afterwards. What can you say just about the progress this guy has made from when he came here to the 200-foot player?
That's a development. Listen, Marty said it, right? And the coaches said it to me. You play most of the game without the puck. What are you going to do? You're going to float around out there, or are you going to be ready? Are you going to get yourself in a position to get the puck? When you don't have it, are you going to bust your hump back and back check so you can help defend your team? And he did that last night. Unbelievable. As far as teaching him to score goals, I remember Marty working with him early in the year where he'd have him on the dot, that one-timer like Line A takes, and he was showing him that pump fake and then go to the middle, right? Something that he wasn't doing before that. He was just setting up for that one-timer. And we've seen him at practice doing the pump fake and step into the middle, improving his angle. So I'm sure he's helped him in a lot of ways, but the biggest one certainly is you got to do more when you don't have the puck. When the other team has the puck, what are you going to do? Are you going to watch? Are you going to become active? And I think that's what he's done with this guy. And it's proven to – come on. What, 37 goals now? Like, hello. The kid's been unbelievable, both ends of the rink. It's a good thing to see.
Rick, as a former defenseman, what's it mean when you see a goal scorer like that coming back and helping out on his own end?
Well, it's a bonus, right? You need those guys to have success, and it's nice to see a guy that's come to understand and has gotten better in that department and realize the importance of his positioning and his job when he doesn't have the puck, and what he can do to help the defenseman back there. And as a group, I mean, I look at the whole group of them. When they lose the puck, they're coming back on the back check as hard as they can come, and it makes everybody's job that much easier when they're working that well as a group. And again, compliments to the effort and desire for them to perform well, and they're doing it.
Yeah, Marty's got them playing as a 5-man unit. It's quite impressive. Anyway, that's it for this Hockey Inside Out Show bonus episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel. Go to MontrealGazette.com/newsletters to sign up for the Hockey Inside Out newsletter. And of course, you can go to HockeyInsideOut.com every day where you get all the latest Canadiens news. Also, if you have a bonus question you'd like us to answer on an upcoming bonus episode, please leave it in the comments section below.